Hello and welcome back to another episode of Math with Stone. Today we are going to be doing function transformation, specifically shifting it to the left or shifting it to the right and up and down. Alright, so let's get into it. Now, the basic form of function transformations is some weird formula, y equals a, x minus h plus k. That can look confusing. But what you need to know is that the A is referring to where is it going to face, up or down, like literally is it going to be like happy or sad. And then the H and the K are just the left and the right. I think it looks a lot easier if you relate it to functions that you're familiar with. For instance, a parabola, y equals x squared, looks like this. And then we're just going to be moving that around. All right. So let's say I have y equals, we'll go with x minus 2 squared plus 5. It looks similar to this, but it doesn't have the squared part. This is the generic form, and then we're going to expand on that all throughout this video. So here, if it's in the parentheses, you will change the sign, and if it's outside of the parentheses, you will keep the sign. Better known as finding the vertex, which is, it is a parabola, of the parabola. So the vertex is actually 2, 5 of this parabola. So we're going to go to the right by 2 and up by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I get my transformation. Because originally it was right here at 0, 0. Now it went to the right by 2 and up by 5. So you're starting to see that these transformations are actually just the vertex. Okay? So we're going to mess around with that. We're going to do some different functions, but it's going to generally stay that way for this video. So let's say we have not a parabola, but let's something a little more exotic, x minus 4, the square root of x minus 4. I forgot to say square root. So if we change the sign, we're going to get 4, but there's nothing to keep. There's nothing over here, so that's 0. So this is kind of like the parentheses part. Now, you would have to know what the generic form of a square root is, and that, in fact, kind of looks like a square root. It's going to shift to the right by 4, and it's going to go like that. Okay? So we're moving on. We're only going to focus on 3 functions for this. We're going to focus on parabolas, square roots, which look like this, and then absolute values, which just look like a V. Okay? So I'm going to keep the functions relatively simple. So let's do a few more. We're going to go through some of these quickly. Let's do another square root. Let's do a negative in front, which is kind of like a reflection. It's not, yeah, it is a reflection. I would consider it more of a flip. X plus 2 minus 5. The change keep is going to be negative 2, negative 5. And if I go left by 2, change the sign, down by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right here. This also has my first negative. Well, if it was positive, it would curve up. If it's negative, it's just going to curve down. Okay? No biggie. Curving down from there. Another one. Absolute value. X plus 3 minus 1. An absolute value graph, this time it would be left by 3, down by 1, negative 3, negative 1. And an absolute value graph is a V. In case you forgot, absolute value graph is a V. Okay, so you're not getting too much involved with this, but let's say we have to work backwards. So let's say that they give you either a graph or the shift and ask you to rewrite it. So let's say that we are given a generic absolute value of x, and they want you to write the function shifted left by 2 and up by 3. Well, if it went to the left by 2, that would be negative 2, and up by 3 would be positive 3. So we have to turn this into this equation, knowing it has to be a change keep. Well, we put the change the sign in the parentheses, which in this case is the absolute values, and it's completely wrong because I messed it up. Change the sign of negative 2 to positive 2. Keep the sign of 3. And that's it. That's the equation. We just worked backwards on that one. So x plus 2 in the absolute value bars, and then the plus 3. No biggie. What if we are given the graph? And let's say this graph is a parabola. We haven't done one of those in a bit. And it's to the right by 3 and then down by 2. And also, let's say it goes down. Let's say it's facing downward and the vertex is kind of messed up. So here, if we had the original was y equals x squared, and now it's facing down, it's going to be a negative in front. That's an important feature because it's facing down. So negative in front. It's going to be squared because it is parabola. Parabolas are squared. And again, if the vertex is 3 comma negative 2, change the sign of the 3, keep the sign of the negative 2. And there she is. That's the equation of the parabola. And that is all we need. Okay? Now, these are taking a huge overstep and not focusing too much on what is the number here. Okay, so that's going to be in a different video, but normally with these problems, they're talking specifically about the left and the right and the up and the down, which is what the change keep is talking about. This in front is flipping it over itself. In another video, we are going to talk about what is going to affect reflecting the function, which is a little bit more tricky, but that's later. Until next time, I will see everybody later. Bye.